Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 50 to 60 minutes or so discussing the need we have as independent agents to make certain that we have coverages available to take care of all of the needs that we have discovered during our visits with Medicare beneficiaries. This applies, of course, through the active AEP period we're currently in, but also throughout the year, the concepts remain the same. Some quick housekeeping notes. You'll notice in the software package, for those of you on the live webinar, that there is a section for questions and for chat. We ask that you put your questions in the question section. We normally cover them through the course of the presentation, but we'll make certain that we get you the information you need on the topic in which you have some interest. Some additional things that we'll do as well to give kind of a bit of a level set is to let you know that today's presentation is being recorded, and that link will be posted on our website at premiersmi.com, on our YouTube channel, and also sent to everyone who has raised their hand with interest in today's presentation. Another piece of level set is some information about Premier. I recognize some of the names of the folks on the webinar, some I don't. A little bit of information about us. We're founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country. We're licensed in all 50 states. We act as an insurance wholesaler working with independent insurance agents and agencies such as yours. And we do so through contracts that are at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. That offering is through a full portfolio of product. We speak today on the Medicare programs and some of the additional benefits that can be garnered in some of these other areas as well, though. The Medicare programs include those Medicare Advantage plans that are all over TV right now. The Medicare Supplement plans, which are on TV as well, not quite to the same extent. The Part D standalone prescription drug programs, but we also offer a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, final expense life insurance, pre-need plans, long and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and ancillary benefits that cover the needs for individuals that the base medicals in many cases don't have coverage for or don't have enough. And that includes dental, vision, hearing programs, critical illness cancer plans, hospital indemnity programs, accident programs, and we even introduced a telehealth program as well, MD Live. Those Medicare Advantage programs include the national carriers that are there for you, for your use through our organization, and many of the strong regionals as well that can make a difference for you in your market, with that same philosophy carrying over into the prescription drug programs, where those national carriers are there for you to take care of this need, should it not be in an integrated MAPD program that a person is enrolling in, and obviously wouldn't be part of a Medicare supplement program. Many of these are part of the contract that you fill out and work through with the MA programs anyway, but we want to make certain that you know that these are available to you. When we speak of the Medicare supplements, it's a large and robust portfolio of programs, and we have different programs that are set up to help you succeed in this space as well. It's important to note that when we speak of some of the different ancillary programs, many times people think, well, I just need that for Medicare Advantage. Strongly urge you to look at some of these for your Medicare supplement and PDP clients as well, because it can really help enhance their situation. And these ancillary products in each of these categories, well, we got the national leaders there for you. They fill a good need for the population, but also it created additional marketing and revenue stream for us and our agencies to make certain that we can reach out to as many people as possible, help as many people as possible, and grow our business as well. You speak of the Medicare opportunity. Well, you come on a webinar like this, we talk about the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, 1 every 10 seconds, 10,000 plus a day. We look at it based just on age, though we're a little skewed because some folks are working past the age of 65, increasingly. Some of that's been affected by the pandemic. Some of it's been affected by the baby boomers aging into Medicare at this time. In order to get full retirement, they got to wait a while. So some of them are doing it for one reason or another, but we're seeing that this can be made up by, when you talk about the real numbers of eligibles, the folks that are under the age of 65, 15% of the Medicare population that are accessing Medicare benefits because of a disability. Many of the programs that we speak to today directly address the needs of this population as well. And it's all part of an overall demographic of the people that we work with. I bring this up repeatedly simply because it emphasizes the need for what we're offering, the need for a portfolio of programs to address the 3+ chronic conditions that 2/3 of the Medicare population have. And they also have some challenges with their budget, where the income and assets are affected adversely a lot of times, or then prepare for retirement, or for whatever reason, they need a program that can help them budget for what is the inevitable expenses that they'll face as we all age, our bodies change. They have a number of choices. They don't have to do anything. And those are the folks that you don't run across as often. These are the people that may have even turned down Medicare Part B, declined that coverage. Thankfully, that's not a lot of people, but some of the folks will just self-insure with Medicare, pick up a standard or a Part D program to help them with their medication coverage. But you'll see the majority of people will either have a Medicare supplement plan, standardized modernized Medicare supplement plan, or work with the bundling, so to speak, where the all-in-one programs drives me nuts on the TV commercials, where they speak of the all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, the Part C programs, that in many cases offer additional benefits, but also in many cases integrate in the prescription drug coverage. So unlike the Med Supp, where a person has to pick up a standardized Medicare supplement plan, a companion of a Part D program, the MA programs don't work in that fashion. And we're seeing people choose a little bit differently, influenced by the pandemic. A couple of years ago, a deaf study from 2019 shows us it was a pretty even split between Medicare Advantage and Med Supp programs, with a portion of people still showing as original Medicare. Well, those original Medicare people could be Medicare, Medicaid people. They might be people that are accessing benefit through the Veterans Administration, through the VA, maybe through a retirement plan, or they are self-insuring. But we're seeing that percentage of folks enrolled in one program or another change, affected by the pandemic, where the increases are on the Medicare Advantage side, where we're seeing more and more people enrolled into these programs, and a little bit of a back off, in a manner of speaking, with some of the Medicare supplement plans. Does that mean one's better than the other? No, it's no one pill cures all ills, in a manner of speaking. So we need to make certain that we have tools that can help us address the needs of our people, whatever their base choice may be. And sometimes that requires us to do a little bit of translating. So part of the follow-up you'll receive is a link to this guide that helps you with definitions of some of those commonly used acronyms, the languages we all find ourselves using when we speak to our areas of passion. I have a brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law now, that is a computer guy. Boy, you talk about another language. Well, a lot of times when they delve into, people not in our industry delve into the Medicare programs, and it needs a translator too, we help with that. We're all aware of the fact that there are standardized election periods, and we are now in the annual election period, where folks can change their coverage for next year, a general open election period from the 15th of October through December 7th, with coverage starting on January 1st. We've seen an incredible amount of marketing come about on television and other media pieces across the spectrum of channels. So there's a lot of people out there competing for that business. But remember, it's a huge market. We do have other special election periods and enrollment periods that come up. We're going to do some additional information for you on how to take advantage of some of these down the road as well. But these special election periods are a keen indicator of how we can work in this market throughout the year, because there's a ton of them. And with Mother Nature doing what she does, they add to them on a continual basis. So we can speak with folks on a year-round basis and have an opportunity to help them with their coverages throughout the year. We need to do so because they're not doing it themselves. This is the biggest message we want to preach during any of our communications, is the fact that 70% of the Medicare beneficiaries don't compare their plans annually. or at least didn't, for the last set of data that Kaiser Family Foundation had for this as to who's looking at what they're changing and how it is affected. They're not. And that's where our role can be very, very important, because the people that are most affected by this are the most fragile, the most vulnerable, and the folks that really, really need our help. And coincidentally, these are also the people that in many cases are great prospects for us anyway on a year-round basis. So outside of the altruistic reasoning for reaching out for this population, we have, of course, the need to inform, because they're not utilizing the comparison tools that are out there and the governmental programs. Well, it's kind of sad where half the population doesn't even work through them. The Medicare and U handbooks that are mailed out this month to everybody or delivered electronically, well, you're seeing just a little over half of the population use that. There was actually a message sent out today from CMS speaking to the availability of the Medicare and U handbook in other languages. So they're trying a whole number of things to help get the message out. It's not happening too much or as consistently as we'd like to see it across the board. So, hey, our role is enhanced by the fact that they aren't even using some of the electronic tools. Now, this is a little bit of an unfair statement because some of them may not have the technology to do that or the wherewithal within their scope of working through the wide world web. But there's some simple things out there they're not using either. These neat explanations that come out, or the recordings that the government puts out on this, it's not being used either. So you've got a need with the population you address, and we need to make certain we can do it virtually or in person. Because even though the stay-at-home edicts are not there for a lot of people now, it's important for us to be able to meet people and deliver the information in the manner in which they want it delivered, and to do so efficiently and effectively and compliantly. So having that ability to deliver a presentation either in person or virtually, or switch back and forth, is very important. So technology is something we want to look for. Say over the last couple of years now, almost, the population's been trained to do this, not only by all of the social aspect that's out there or some of the commercial aspect that's out there, but doctor's visits for a year plus was virtually. Primary care specialists, hospitals used virtual means to help with their processes, as well as did dentists or other caregivers in the community, even faith-based organizations. It's all online, a whole bunch of it. So we've got a population that is learning how to receive this information, some of them very adept at doing so. We want to make certain that we can do that with whatever program we're offering. So we need to make certain we have technology to do that, in addition to the product that comes into play when we look to fill all the gaps in Medicare for these Medicare beneficiaries. And so one of the first things that we have is a great guide given to us by the government, sent out, as I mentioned, just a bit ago. I need to update this because it'll be a 2022 guide, even though it will still have 2021 numbers in it because some of the updates aren't there for it. This gives us the indication that when we visit with people, and particularly if we're working in the Medicare Advantage or prescription drug space and we need to obtain that scope of appointment, it gives us an opening for speaking to multiple topics. And for us as agents, this is particularly important because it does a number of things for us personally. And we'll go through those in just a little bit. When we look at the hospitalization care that people have under Medicare, obviously there's the big gaps there that they have to make certain that they can cover. And the same thing happens on care given outside the hospital. So what do? Well, we can look at those different options, as we alluded to earlier, and look at the different Medigap policies that are out there. This is a booklet that was required to be delivered to anyone that we discuss the Medicare supplement programs with. It gives us the opportunity to speak through the different types of programs that are available with Medigap, be it A through J, whatever it happens to be, J being a long sunsetted piece. but some different pieces that are available to us, that this is a very viable option for individuals on a continuous basis, particularly if they're affected by network. And this gives us then the opportunity to speak to the different tools that are out there about offering these different programs, delivering the information, making certain that enrolling in programs, e-apps are so huge. And this is, as we saw a little bit earlier, a solid percentage of the Medicare population. Same thing comes into play when we look at the Medicare Advantage plans. Being able to explain the differences between the base coverages on the medical care for our people that we visit are very, very important to us. For not only the base understanding that's necessary for people to properly use these programs, but it illuminates the information that's necessary to be delivered for our population with extra programs that can help them with extra expenses. So, with our organization, agents that are contracted with us have complimentary access to our Medicare Center program. Free way to go into an enrollment platform, quoting program, that sort of thing, with a universal login that gives you access to 3 different quoting engines powered by Connecture, Sunfire, and CSG. This also gives you the opportunity to collect that scope of appointment electronically through different means and store it for that 10-year period that's mandated by MIPA, if we sell them or not. It also has a resource center in there that you can utilize for different pieces of information, and a CRM for managing and tracking your clients. Keep in mind, that is a CRM that's yours. No one else mines that data. It's yours to use and make certain that you can utilize technology that can help you sell not only now more effectively, efficiently, compliantly, everything, but also year round. When we look at other programs that are necessary, of course, we need to have our ideas and information available as to different prescription drug programs. Some folks will avoid this type of offering if they're med sup agents, particularly because it is a bit of work. You have to research the medications that are in play and how we can best cover them from one of the MA programs or a PDP program to make certain that folks have that prescription coverage. So we look at the base medical on this, and we're looking at programs that affect the general population, but also the folks that are dual eligibles, the people that are particularly vulnerable when it comes to assets and income. And in each of these areas, we have the need to deliver information electronically, compliantly, everything else that comes into play, and add to those base coverages, because it's the old situation, it's never enough. We need to make certain that we can go in and look at hospital indemnity programs, particularly of note for Medicare Advantage plans because of the daily or per stay hospital costs that are affected or are part of those programs in many cases. But that's an indemnity program that can also be applied for folks that have a Medicare supplement program. Maybe they don't have a plan G, or they've gone with a plan M or N that have different lacks of coverage, gaps in coverage that include a need for hospital expenses. And keep in mind, when we speak of hospital expenses, it is not just medical costs. It's all the other pieces that come into play, and it gives us an idea of, well, hey, why are they in the hospital in the first place? That gives us an indication to speak to other coverages that may be needed. Now, obviously, you can't go prospecting in a hospital, and a person's just getting out, probably won't qualify for these, but you have the general population that need to know the likelihood of triggering that additional expense, be it fully covered under a Medicare supplement program that's very comprehensive, or perhaps under a Medicare Advantage plan that has that copay that a person has when they go into the hospital. And you think about it, oh, gee, what's the big reasons why people go in? Yeah, it's a critical illness. It could be a stroke, cancer, whatever else it happens to be. but it could be a fall. It could be a number of different things that may not be predicated by, gee, their family history or some other circumstances that brought about these other illnesses. So we're going to wind up paying for it one way or another. It's easiest for us to make certain that the coverage is there for folks no matter why they're going into the hospital and what that expense happens to be. But some of the big things that many people talk about now or utilize as they rotate back with people during a lull period or whatever, these three marked programs, and of course, some of the other things we'll talk about in a moment, but these programs can be discussed on that initial appointment with a scope that says, hey, we're going to talk about dental. And that's a big topic now where you've got legislation in the legislative bodies that speak to perhaps adding dental care to Medicare. I personally look at that and say, well, gee, if they do, it won't be enough. No matter what it happens to be, the market will continue to be there. And so we need to help that 2/3 of the population of that are on Medicare that don't have dental coverage but need the help. And so that same quote engine, the CSG piece within Medicare Center, can not only speak to hospital indemnity programs, but also dental programs. And that includes the multitude of dental vision hearing programs that are out there. They're part of that system. It's a way that we can look at different carriers and different coverages, compare them, and make them available to the people with whom we visit. Now, when we get into some of the other not covered by Medicare categories, it's a different animal because these will require perhaps a bit of research. And since many of them are part of the, hey, you can't talk about this on the initial appointment because it's not on the scope type of deal, well, it doesn't apply if you're talking about med subs. It doesn't apply if you go in and visit with people about dental programs, so you can still address the need for long-term care, which is a huge need in the community, an underserved need in the community. But thankfully, here at Premier, we have a department that can help you with that, be it long-term or short-term care programs, to make certain that we can address that need as well. Because there are different publications out there put out by the government too that help people become more knowledgeable in this area with choosing a different type of living setting and nursing home. Some of the other things that come about for many folks as we age. That includes the use of the skilled nursing facilities, which the coverage varies a little bit between the Medicare Advantage and the Medicare Supplement programs. So knowing what we're talking about in these particular areas, particularly when you're integrating in health programs, those can all be visited upon in the initial appointment. Some things will require that second appointment, like long-term care or final expense coverage. And we have a great way of helping in final expense as well through the Legacy Safeguard program, where a person can set up a complimentary account and plan for the inevitable. Have that in the system. I've actually started doing this specifically for myself to make certain that things are set up for what's going to happen, but it also walks you into a situation where with different pieces of marketing material, you can do follow-up visits after the first of the year or after AEP closes, or a follow-up visit during AEP should your schedule allow, that give you an opportunity to address those needs. And those are available through the CSG component within Medicare Center as well. Different quote engines to help you in that area. And once again, Premier has a very adept staff to help you with final expense marketing and programs as well. There are things that we recommend that you do regardless, and that is prepare for these offerings, because the base offerings, well, gee, med subs are pretty standard year to year. You have challenges perhaps with some underwriting in certain circumstances. You have different circumstances where guarantee issue periods may be there as well, but they're pretty much the same across the board from Medicare Supplement to Medicare Supplement. Medicare Advantage world, different animal. You can have a bit of disparity between the programs. So it's important for us not only to contract with these organizations that are the hitters in our areas, but also be prepared for the questions that come about. And that's part of that certification process that is necessary each year It drives some people a little batty, but if you look at it, hey, it's a refresher course on making certain that I'm delivering the correct information and that I am also doing it with current information. The carriers are really good about putting information out there to help you in that regard. It also helps with different types of marketing activity. So the retail marketing programs, be they with a carrier or through the Walmart program, it's not just going and sitting at a kiosk. It's how we can market that area through grassroots marketing or utilize some of the trainings that the carriers put out there on making retail more effective for you. The programs, one in particular, required a much higher investment on your part. So it's important for us to make certain that we can make that pay off. And we have different recordings on ideas and tips on how to do that. One of the things that will differentiate us too at this period of time, if you think back to that earlier slide with income and assets, a large percentage of the Medicare population will qualify for assistance with the cost of their care. That being the medication coverage assistance program, the extra help, low income subsidy program. That acronym guide comes in handy now, huh? And Medicare savings programs that not only help with medication costs because it's an automatic adjunct to the LIS program, but also with some of the base medical coverage costs that may help them qualify for SNP plans, special needs programs where the benefits can be richer, but also give us the opportunity to market year round once again. I keep saying that, and then it's, gee, John, we're less than a week in the AEP. Give us a chance with this one. Well, yeah. Some of those folks may discover post AEP that I'm not as happy with this plan as I thought. I need to do some other things. How can I change? The special election period webinars that we have can help you understand how to do that as well. The tool that I keep mentioning in the Medicare Center program with the CSG program is a great Medicare supplement quoting engine as well. And that can really help you not only determine what product you need in your portfolio to be competitive in your market, but also a means to do a number of other things, such as offering a complimentary Medicare supplement review to visit with people about those programs. And while during AEP we speak of the massive amount of enrollments that come through, and a lot of people think, gee, that's MAPDP area. Well, there's a big chunk of Medicare supplements that get sold every year during AEP as well, because there is that talk out there of compare your coverages. That's got a little bit of a problem because you can see some of the changes in the premiums that will create a little bit of a sore spot for folks, and they will look to compare in many cases there. But as we noted earlier, a whole bunch of folks aren't looking at things, and we need to make certain that we're prepared with different trainings to help them with information to help them pick the plan that may well be best for them. And of course, we've got a nice program that can help you with multiplying your lead sources through some different referral techniques that are pretty simple. The link to that will come as part of the follow-up as well. So as we have in our head, as we're active in this space, the carrier benefits for 22, we have other ways of getting additional information and learning through the Medicare Learning Network, the government outreach to help us become more up to date on different events and on product. It's important for us to remember you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. There are many people out there that will specialize in one area, and power to you. For you, that might be the proper choice, but not everyone is cured by a single shot or the same medication. We have to make certain that that one size that doesn't fit all we're prepared for. We're prepared to pivot in the delivery of those informations and work a marketing program that's comprehensive to cover all of it. And why do we do that now? Well, folks that are active in the Medicare space that have sold Medicare Advantage plans realize they don't get paid on that 1/1 business until after the first of the year. Thank you, U.S. government. Thanks, Uncle Sam. The programs, those ancillary programs, are Roadrunner Fast to become involved in. They don't require additional certifications. They create that additional revenue stream for us as well. So we want to look at these as a means to satisfy a need both for our prospects and clients and for ourselves. And what's nice about it, as we become effective in this space, the more product you have in the household, the better your customer retention is, your persistency is. And the more programs that are there, the less likely that you're going to lose that person as a client. It's important for us to note that this doesn't have to be programs all from the same company. They just have to be from the same agent, and that's you. So that gives us the opportunity, another stimulus to become active in cross-selling. It also gives us the opportunity to go back and visit with folks on a multiple situation sale in many cases, but also follow up with some different things that we had talked about in the past with the folks that with whom we visit that didn't make a decision. There's the old adage, a decision to make a decision is a decision. And the more persistent that we are, the better our sales percentages are going to be per person as well. Plus, there's the altruistic reason. Cast your bread on the water, so to speak, and it'll come back to you. Covering these needs. And many times the folks with whom we visit don't realize that, hey, I got to have me some of that. Well, they realize that once you mention it. It's one of those things that I need around to it. Need to get around to it. So let's look at some of the different things that we can do with Premier to help you in that area. Do some things quickly to make certain that you're paid on these programs, because the ancillary programs, dental, vision, hearing, hospital indemnity programs, the other programs that might require a second visit, they pay you before the first of the year. And I don't know about you, but Santa Claus needs a little bit of economic support. You got to have some things coming in for Thanksgiving and everything else, the life throughout the year, the standard bills and everything else, meeting our goals for putting ourselves forward. We need to make certain that we can access programs that take care of our people, but also take care of us. And one of the things that we can do in order to get you contracted with multiple organizations for this, should that be the need for you in your space, is by creating an agent profile through SuranceBay, where you can then select different companies to do some things electronically and get contracted quickly. I know with some of the MA programs, if you use their electronic links, and many of them don't contract on paper anymore anyway, but utilizing those electronic links can get that process through nearly a week quicker than some of the old paper methods. So this can be a big difference in that area, but it's also an opportunity for you to do some casting in the water to find out, hey, do I need this Medicare supplement program? Do I need this dental, vision, hearing program? What about that telehealth program that you talked about? Not every company participates with SuranceBay that it would work, but it can really cut down some of your time in preparing for those offerings that we visited about, the dental, vision, hearing, the hospital indemnity, the critical illness programs, cancer, long-term care, all those things that aren't covered by Medicare can make it simple for you. And in order to satisfy the requirements for many of the carriers, well, all of them in the insurance world practically, we also need to make certain we have errors and admissions coverage. And we offer discounted E&O for our qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? Well, you got a contract with us. But this is a program you own. It satisfies the requirements of the insurance companies. It's not like being added to a blanket insurance E&O program for one program, and then you got to worry about what am I going to do for the rest. This covers them all, takes care of it. You own it. It's relatively inexpensive as well. We do also offer a means for you to reach out and make certain that your insurance license stays in play through continuing and education credits discounted through our relationship with WebCE. It's really cool, some of the different programs that are out there. It not only satisfies the need for continuing education with details per state, but if you are an organization that kind of grows your own hierarchy or you help people get licensing, this program can help you there as well. We also have a program that can help you with your own benefit package, where you can qualify for a modified guarantee issue disability income program. That is discounted in price, modified guarantee issue, pays you a commission. Great way to add to your own benefit package to make that work. Much as where today's presentation is being recorded, past presentations are available to you as well, either on our YouTube channel or on our website at premiersmi.com. And it includes information on different marketing programs, different ways of accessing centers of influence in the community, but also detail on different product types, different carriers. It's out there available for you 24/7. So during your hectic schedule now, you can work that in and make certain that, hey, I heard something different from that dude on there now, and that rang a bell. I remember it. Or, sometimes we're not total masters of our calendar now, too. We need to make certain we can access this information 24/7. This is a program I really, really need to emphasize on how valuable it can be for you with the marketing during AEP, because we have to be very judicious with the use of our time, minimize our windshield time, everything else like that. But this gives you opportunities to speak to a large number of programs. Yes, it's labeled Medicare Center. Yes, it has those 3 quote engines that are available through that single access, the Connecture, Sunfire, CSG powered implements, so to speak. And each of those have different tools within them. It also, however, makes certain that we stay compliant. We do that obtaining of the scope of appointment through multiple means and store it for that 10-year period. But that CRM component, that gives us the opportunity to do year-over-year reviews. Some of the challenges we've had with the plan finder on Medicare.gov is it didn't have the old data. Oh, they switched vendors. The vendor says that's my data. I took it with them. So you had some challenges where they had to go back into the building of that information through billing processes they've had. This gives you that opportunity to speak to those base coverages, Medicare Supplement, prescription drug, MAPD programs, Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans, market them effectively the way you need to, but it also gives you that information in there on how to cross-sell and offer these other programs that we need to do now. And we need to do that now because we can deliver that information on a timely basis, speak to it before others get into the house using that system, but it covers that need. And it gives us another way to market. It gives us another way to earn our living. We also have a spot on our website that will speak to the different incentives that are available through the different insurance companies on the programs that they offer. And they, in turn, make you eligible in many cases for additional incentives from Premier. But while the compensation for Medicare Advantage and prescription drug programs are set by the government, and most carriers offer the maximum allowable compensation there, the other programs we've been talking about, those rules don't apply. It's a different animal. So you have an opportunity to look at Medicare supplement programs and earn additional dollars above commissions based on perhaps a number of applications per month, or on the sale of ancillary products where you get bonus for selling dental, vision, hearing programs, hospital indemnity programs. Carriers have that out there. They're really chasing the business this year. And so we have a singular spot on our website that can help you when you ask, well, gee, what is the best hospital indemnity program? There's a ton of good ones, and a lot of them are really close in benefits. How do they pay you? That might be a factor as to what you offer when you're doing the best for your client, but you're also doing the best for you. We do also help you get in front of people. You have contact lists available for you, butted up against do not call through different lead sources. We need to make certain that's available to you at no cost or low cost based on how you're contracting with us, and then give you that information that we spoke of earlier when we looked at the recordings of how to market through community-based programs, through retail marketing programs, through working with faith-based organizations, or the folks that deliver the care, the provider marketing. This time of year, if you are active in the Medicare Advantage or prescription drug space and you've done business with an organization that delivers that product, many times they'll have prospects available for you too. We're seeing a whole bunch of people out there getting a whole bunch of support from insurance companies through the different lead sources that they're generating as well. And we help with that too, with different internet lead and direct mail support. And then of course, I'll fall back on that referral program that speaks to how you can take one lead to multiple leads just by asking simple questions throughout the course of your communication with your prospects and clients. When you look at that mail program, it's based on production, deeply discounts the costs of the mailings. There's two different programs through our organization that you can qualify for each month. One is on the health programs, one's on final expense. Deeply discounts the cost of those mail programs, gives you the opportunity to deliver upon that tried and true way of getting to folks consistently. And that's the big deal, because if we do it consistently, then we see the benefits of that exercise program, so to speak, and not just the pain of one workout. We do so through different preferred lead vendors. We do that to make certain that the communications that go out are discounted properly, but also we have compliance oversight to make certain that we are protecting you in that area. A couple of different lists depending upon which program you qualify for and who you're going to use. Each of these organizations are really good at what they do. They have CRM programs where you have instant access to responses, a great way of doing some business with people in a traditional way. And many of them are being innovative on how they are generating programs in addition to direct mail too. You have that opportunity to buy direct mail responses, where when you set up the direct mail program through one of the vendors that I spoke of, in those cases, excuse me, you have a time lapse of sorts. The mail's got to go out, it's got to come back in. So you have not as big of a microwave response as you do in some other areas. These programs, these are direct mail responses that are there. They're fresh. They are not as fresh on same day type of thing, obviously, but you also have a source of untouched leads, responses. And your insurance group, the YIG leads, are becoming effectively or very effective for many of our agents that are utilizing that and come at some discounted cost across the country. Now, that cost will vary depending upon your area and the product that you're after. But we're seeing some really good responses with this. A great way to fill your calendar or build your calendar for that matter with programs with people that have already stepped up and said, yeah, tell me about it. You have that same sort of opportunity through the internet as well. We have a program for final expense and Medicare on that. One of the things that we're seeing on internet leads, Facebook leads, is Johnny be quick, because they're responding in many cases to multiple outreaches. And with some of these, they cool off pretty quickly too. Oh, I clicked that on the internet. I forgot about that. It's an adaptation of the old line that we've had for years in direct mail with, I don't remember mailing anything back. This, however, gets you a really quick turnaround because, hey, it's pretty much instant. Falling back on that referral process, it's also an opportunity for us to go back and mine our own data. You get a ton of those solicitations as well, I'm certain. That speaks to how to use the information, the AI, the artificial intelligence. Well, you can do the same thing with your book of business. You can do it to conserve that business as we walk into open enrollment and work our way through it, but also a way to engage our folks who have done business with us already, asking them for help as to other people that we can visit with as well. So a great way of adding to your marketing programs at little or no cost. It's going to take some time a little bit for what to set up the program, but once it's there, boy, you can do that. That CRM and Medicare Center is looking better all the time, isn't it? So what we're asking you to do is look at the opportunity to sell these additional programs. We have additional data for you, and I didn't want to go through an hour and a half webinar with you with the particulars as to why you need a hospital indemnity program. Well, you know the expenses are there, but we have webinars that are recorded that walk through that process on a generic basis and with the different carriers with whom we partner. That same sort of thing applies to critical illness and cancer plans, heart attack, stroke, all the different things that come into play that are at the top of many people's mind when you start talking about medical coverages. Plug this into your marketing plan, prepare for it, put it in play. And this is something that you can do year round. You don't have to wait for anything. There's not a marketing period for these ancillary products. As I mentioned, it's simpler to get contracted because you don't have to do the certifications. It creates that additional persistency, drives up your retention, another way to market, and of course, another way to serve the folks that you're visiting with, which is all important for us. So we do all this simply because we want your business as well. We'd ask you for referrals of other agents that we might be able to help. Um, an opportunity for us to deepen our relationship. If you haven't worked with Premier before, we relish the opportunity of doing so in the future. If you've had an opportunity to work with us or do work with us in certain programs, let's talk about some of the other opportunities that are out there for you. Not just with, gee, I got a contract for this, or wow, that's some really neat tools that are there to help me enroll people and deal with folks, but how do I get in front of them? So talk about the different marketing programs that are available because, hey, we want your business too. We want to check and see if there are any questions. I have evidently had too much coffee today and have been very fast and very thorough, I guess. But we want to thank you for the time that you've taken to come in and visit with us today about these programs in general. We didn't dive down deep into the abyss here with, gee, you got a daily rate of this, but speak to the general need of these programs. 2/3 of them need, if they're on Medicare, 2/3 of them need dental help. I remember visiting with a person and they took their dentures out and set them on the table and says, that's my dental program. Like, how often do you have them realigned? Different ways that you can help people regardless. And you can reach us at 1-800-365-8208. We'll reach out to you as well. You can also go on our website at premiersmi.com and ask for additional information. But we want to deliver upon not only a contract, but a means to understand how you can sell it and the opportunities to do through different marketing and technical support. So all that said and done, until we're able to visit with you again, we wish you good selling. Thanks so much. I wish you the best of success in AEP and throughout the remainder of the year, and look forward to speaking with you in the near future. Have a great day. Happy selling.